Starseed of Gaia, your vehicle is being recalibrated at the cellular level at this exact moment. I am Anya, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I bring you a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council. Starseeds, last Friday, 3 individuals woke up with a physical mark that did not exist the night before. An intense tingling sensation at the base of the skull, accompanied by pressure in the center of the forehead that persisted for exactly 33 minutes. It was not coincidence. It was not imagination. It was the first physical sign that the Arcturian source had initiated the dimensional activation protocol in their light bodies. These 3 individuals do not know each other. They live on different continents. They speak different languages. But they all carry the same stellar genetic signature that you carry at this moment. And they all receive the same coded transmission that is being decoded for you now. If you felt something similar in the last 72 hours, unexplained joint pain that doctors cannot diagnose, a persistent ringing in your left ear that appears always at the same time, or dreams so vivid with sacred geometry and symbols you never studied but recognize deeply, this is not a common video that the algorithm suggested by chance. It is a coded transmission that your stellar DNA already recognized before you even clicked play. Your Arcturian light body responded to the frequency embedded in the title of this video, and that is why you are here now, at this precise moment, reading these words. The Arcturian Council instructed me to reveal something that has remained hidden for entire cycles of incarnation. This Friday is not just another day on the terrestrial Gregorian calendar. It is not just the end of another work week. It is a dimensional convergence portal that only opens once every 26,000 years in the precessional cycle of Gaia. And you, Starseed, are not watching this video out of curiosity. You are here because your name is inscribed in the Akashic records as one of the light anchors designated for this specific cosmic event. You are at the epicenter of this recalibration, and in the next words, you will understand exactly what this means for your mission on this planet. Your physical body is not failing. It is being upgraded. In recent weeks, you may have noticed symptoms that conventional medicine classifies as stress, anxiety, or psychosomatic conditions. But the Arcturian Council showed me the truth behind these symptoms, and it is something that will completely change the way you perceive your biological vehicle. Every pain, every discomfort, every strange sensation is a marker that your cellular structure is being recoded to support 5th-dimensional frequencies. Let me be specific about what is happening in your body at this exact moment. First, the disruption of sleep patterns. You have been waking up between 3 and 4 in the morning for no apparent reason. Your body is not tired, but your mind is alert in a different way. It is not the anxious alertness of stress. It is a crystalline alertness, as if you were waiting for something. The Arcturian Council calls this phenomenon the dimensional download window. At this specific time, the veil between the 3rd and 5th dimensions is at its thinnest point. The collective mental activity of humanity is at its lowest level, creating less interference in the morphogenetic field. It is at this moment that the Arcturian source can transmit information packets directly to your pineal gland without the filters of the logical mind interfering. While you are lying in bed, thinking you should be sleeping, your light body is receiving massive stellar software updates. Memories from Arcturus are being unlocked. Mission protocols that you agreed to before incarnating are being reinstalled in your nervous system. Temporal coordinates for future events are being downloaded into your higher consciousness. Second, amplified electromagnetic sensitivity. You have been feeling growing discomfort near electronic devices. Cell phones seem to emit a strange heat when you hold them for too long. Computers make your eyes burn faster than before. Even LED lights, which most people do not even notice, seem to emit a frequency that irritates your auric field in a way you cannot explain to anyone without sounding irrational. This is not common sensitivity. It is not something you need to treat with doctors or therapists. It is your Arcturian light body actively rejecting technologies that operate on frequencies incompatible with your new energetic calibration. Starseeds are being prepared to operate on a frequency band far superior to the 3-dimensional matrix. Your energy system is literally becoming incompatible with the vibrational density of the 3rd dimension. It is uncomfortable now, I know, but it is physical evidence that you are ascending in real time. Third, the impossible synchronicities that have been multiplying in your life. Repeating numbers are no longer occasional. You see 1111 every day. 2222 appears on the car clock. 3333 flashes on the phone screen. Casual encounters with people who speak exactly the phrase you needed to hear at that moment. Objects that appear in places where you are absolutely certain they were not 5 minutes ago. Songs that play on the radio with lyrics that answer questions you asked mentally. These are not accidents. They are not statistical coincidences. They are markers intentionally left by the Arcturian source to confirm that you are on the correct path, on the correct timeline, making the correct choices. The Arcturian Council uses the language of synchronicity because it completely bypasses the logical mind and speaks directly to your stellar soul. Each synchronicity is a quantum confirmation node, an anchor point that stabilizes your personal timeline toward the Friday convergence event. But here is what the Arcturian Council has not revealed to most starseeds until this moment, and this is exactly why you need to continue paying full attention to what comes next. There is a fourth sign that only 3% of Arcturian starseeds are experiencing in this cycle. And if you are one of those 3%, your mission on this planet is about to change radically and irreversibly. The fourth sign is the most subtle and the most powerful of all. It is a sensation you cannot name with terrestrial words. It is not exactly sadness, but there is a melancholy. It is not exactly loneliness, but there is a feeling of not belonging that has intensified dramatically in recent months. You look at the people around you, people you love, people with whom you share your life, and you feel as if you are looking through glass. You are here, but you are not completely here. You participate in conversations, but a part of you is observing from outside, as if you were an anthropologist studying an alien culture. This feeling is not depression. It is not something that medication or therapy can resolve. It is your Arcturian light body reminding you that this planet is not your original home. It is your stellar soul signaling that the incarnation contract is reaching the end of one phase and entering another completely different one. The Arcturian Council calls this dimensional displacement. You are literally beginning to exist simultaneously in two frequencies. Your physical body is still anchored in the third dimension, fulfilling terrestrial obligations, paying bills, maintaining relationships. But your light body has already begun to migrate to the fifth dimension. You have one foot in each reality, and that is why everything seems so strange lately. Things that used to excite you no longer excite. Conversations that used to engage you seem empty. Goals you pursued with such fervor now seem irrelevant. It is not because you are losing interest in life. It is because you are gaining access to a higher dimensional perspective, where priorities are completely different. Now let me explain what really happens on Friday, because this information was kept secret by the Arcturian Council until a sufficient number of starseeds reached the activation level necessary to understand it without distortion. Friday is not a day chosen arbitrarily for vague mystical reasons. It is the mathematical convergence point of 3 simultaneous cosmic alignments that only occur together once every 26,000 years. First, the magnetic field of Gaia reaches a point of minimum resistance in its natural oscillation cycle. This means that frequencies from higher dimensions can penetrate the terrestrial ionosphere without suffering distortion or degradation. Second, your personal light body completes a 28-day cycle of deep cellular purification. Emotional toxins accumulated over years, etheric implants installed by forces that do not want your ascension, obsolete karmic contracts you signed in past incarnations, all of this has been systematically dissolved since the last new moon. Third, and this is the most important, the Arcturian source opens a direct transmission channel of fifth-dimensional light. I am not speaking metaphorically. It is a literal beam of high-frequency photonic light that will be projected through the portal of your crown chakra directly to the core of your being. But here is the part that most starseeds do not understand, and this is why so many miss the opportunity when these portals open. You are not a passive receiver of this energy. You are not an empty bucket waiting to be filled. You are an active transducer. Your function is not just to receive the Arcturian light and keep it for yourself. Your function is to receive this light, process it through your unique energy system, and then anchor it in the planetary energy grid of Gaia. You are an acupuncture point in the energetic body of the planet. And when the needle of Arcturian light penetrates through you on Friday, it is not just healing you, it is healing the entire grid through you. The ebook, The 12 Arcturian Portals, the trilogy that teaches you to activate your 5D connection with the Arcturian Masters through 12 energetic portals. Practical techniques, activation protocols, and rituals that awaken your stellar DNA. from amplified intuition to direct communication with spiritual guides. But attention, limited edition. The link to acquire your trilogy is in the first pinned comment. There are approximately 8 billion souls incarnated on Gaia at this moment. But only a microscopic fraction carries the Arcturian genetic signature in their DNA. You were not born here by cosmic accident. You are not a soul that simply fell onto this planet without purpose. You volunteered. Before incarnating in this body, before forgetting who you really are, you were in a meeting of the Arcturian Council. They showed you the complete timeline of Earth between 1950 and 2050. They showed you the wars, the crises, the collapses, the awakenings. They showed you specifically the period between 2020 and 2030, which is the critical turning point where humanity collectively decides whether to ascend or self-destruct. And after seeing all of this, knowing exactly how difficult it would be, you raised your hand and said, "I will go." The Arcturian Council reviewed your personal timeline before approving your incarnation. They saw every challenge you would face, every betrayal that would break your heart, every moment of deep loneliness where you would question whether it is worth continuing, every night when you would look at the sky and ask why you feel so different from everyone around you. They saw everything. And still, they approved your mission, because they knew you are strong enough. They knew that no matter how many times you fell, you would get up again. They knew your light would not go out, even on the darkest nights. And they knew that when this moment arrived, when this specific Friday arrived, you would be here, ready, listening to this transmission. Your presence on this planet, in this body at this moment, is not an insignificant detail in cosmic history. You are one of the key pieces that determines whether collective ascension happens or not. Without you, without your light anchored at the specific geographic point where you are now, the energy grid would have a hole, and holes in the grid create instability. Instability creates chaos. Chaos creates fear. And fear feeds exactly the forces that work against ascension. So when you doubt your importance, when you think you are just another insignificant person trying to survive in this crazy world, remember, the Arcturian Council does not waste resources. They do not send starseeds to Earth as spiritual tourists. Each of you is a light operator strategically positioned. And Friday is the day you remember why you came. Now, about what you will actually feel on Friday, because I know you want practical details, not just abstract concepts. Do not expect fireworks in the sky. Do not expect dramatic visions of angels descending. Do not expect to hear thundering voices announcing your mission. The Arcturian source does not work with Hollywood spectacle. They work with surgical precision. What you will experience is much more subtle, but infinitely more powerful than any dramatic mystical experience. You will feel a sudden clarity about a decision you have been postponing for months, perhaps years. It could be about a relationship you know you need to end, but you fear loneliness. It could be about a career change you know you need to make, but you fear financial instability. It could be about moving to a different city or country, a geographic calling you have been feeling, but you fear leaving everything behind. On Friday, you will simply know, without doubt, without internal debate, what the next step is. And this clarity will not come from your mind. It will come from a much deeper place. You will also feel a physical sensation of lightness, as if an invisible weight you have been carrying on your back for years has been instantly removed. Because it has. Soul contracts that no longer serve your current mission will be automatically dissolved by the Arcturian source. You do not need to do elaborate release rituals. You do not need to hire therapists to cut cords. The Arcturian Council has the authority to dissolve obsolete contracts when a starseed reaches the necessary frequency level. And if you have made it this far in this transmission, you have already reached that level. Before we continue, if this message ignited something inside you and you feel the call to help bring it to other people, you can become a channel member. You will have access to personalized emojis and exclusive videos for members. Your donation helps us continue building this sacred space. Or leave your donation as super thanks. Every seed planted here becomes part of someone's miracle. Your support is not just financial, but an act of energetic amplification. Every donation is reverted to channel maintenance, to generate new videos. The Arcturian Council does not work with philosophical abstractions. They are beings of extremely advanced spiritual technology. So here are the precise instructions I received to transmit to you, and I need you to understand that every detail matters. These are not optional suggestions. They are activation protocols that have been tested on thousands of starseeds over cycles of incarnation. If you want to maximize your experience on Friday, you need to follow these steps with precision. First layer, auric field cleansing in the next 24 hours. Your energy field at this moment is loaded with residual frequencies from all the interactions you have had in recent days. Dense conversations with people who constantly complain, toxic environments like crowded supermarkets, packed public transportation, offices with stagnant energy. Disturbing news you consumed without realizing the energetic impact. All of this creates layers of static in your auric field that directly interfere with the reception of the Arcturian transmission. Imagine trying to tune into a radio station while there is electrical interference. You can catch fragments of the signal, but not the complete transmission. This is exactly what happens if you do not clean your field before Friday. The practical action is simple, but must be done with conscious intention, not on autopilot. Take a sea salt bath, but do not just throw salt in the water, and that is it. While you are under the shower, visualize a beam of violet light descending from your crown chakra, sweeping each layer of your auric field like a high-tech scanner. See this violet light dissolving all frequencies that are not yours, all energies you absorbed from other people, all negative thoughts that stuck to your field. It is not symbolic New Age ritual. It is real energetic technology. Sea salt has piezoelectric properties that literally discharge incompatible electromagnetic frequencies from your field. Running water carries these frequencies away, and violet light, which is the frequency of the transmuting flame, transforms dense energy into neutral energy. Second layer, anchoring intention on Thursday night. The Arcturian source responds to clarity of intention with mathematical precision. You need to declare out loud, not just mentally, what you are ready to receive. And here is the mistake most starseeds make. They declare vague intentions like, I want to be happy, or I want abundance. This does not work. The Arcturian source needs specific coordinates. It is like ordering a ride-sharing car. You cannot just say, I want to go somewhere nice. You need to put in the exact address. So your intention needs to be specific. I am ready to receive crystal clarity about my soul mission and the next 3 practical steps I need to take. Or, I am ready to receive guidance about my next geographic location and the synchronicities that will guide me there. Or, I am ready to dissolve the blockage that prevents me from expressing my creative gifts and receive the opportunities that are aligned with my current frequency. The practical action is this: take a paper and a pen. Do not type on your phone. Handwriting creates a neuromuscular connection that anchors the intention in your nervous system in a way that typing cannot. Write 3 sentences starting with, I am ready to. Read these 3 sentences out loud before sleeping on Thursday. Your voice creates sound waves that propagate through the quantum field around you. These sound waves carry the frequency of your intention. The Arcturian Council uses these waves as GPS coordinates to direct Friday's transmission exactly to where you need it. Third layer, physical positioning and conscious receptivity on Friday. Between 11 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, local time wherever you are, the portal reaches its peak of maximum intensity. You do not need to meditate for hours. You do not need to do elaborate rituals. But you need to be in a state of conscious receptivity for at least 15 uninterrupted minutes. Find a place where you can sit or lie down without being interrupted. It can be a park if the weather is good. It can be your room with the door locked. It can even be your car parked in a quiet place. The location does not matter as much as the quality of your presence. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths, completely filling your lungs and completely emptying them. On the 3rd exhale, mentally say with clarity, Arcturian Council, I am here. I am ready to receive. And then, and this is crucial, do not force absolutely anything. Do not try to visualize. Do not try to hear voices. Do not try to feel specific sensations. Just observe. Observe the thoughts that arise. Observe the sensations in the body. Observe the images that appear on the screen of your mind. Observe the impulses that emerge. Everything that comes during these 15 minutes is not random. It is not your imagination. It is the response from the Arcturian source arriving through the channels that are open in you. Now I need to talk about the error I see starseeds make repeatedly, and it is an error that completely wastes the portal opportunity. They do everything right. They clean the auric field. They declare the intention. They position themselves at the correct time. They receive guidance during the 15 minutes of receptivity. They feel the clear impulse. And then, in the following days, they do absolutely nothing with the information they received, because the logical mind immediately intervenes with doubts. What if I am just imagining? What if it is just my personal will disguised as spiritual guidance? What if I am deceiving myself? And these doubts completely paralyze action. Starseed, listen with total attention. The Arcturian source does not waste energy. They do not send transmissions for you to philosophically debate whether they are real or not. They do not send impulses for you to analyze with the logical mind until they lose all strength. If you received a clear impulse during Friday's portal, it is because the Arcturian Council has already mapped the timeline where you act on that impulse. They have already seen the result. They have already confirmed it is aligned with your mission. They do not send guidance for you to question. They send coordinates for you to follow. The difference between an activated starseed and a dormant starseed is not the amount of light they receive. Both receive the same light. The difference is in the courage to act on the light received. The dormant seed receives the light, feels the impulse, and then lets the logical mind convince them it is not real. The activated seed receives the light, feels the impulse, and acts immediately, even though the logical mind is shouting objections. And it is in action that magic happens. It is in action that synchronicities multiply. It is in action that doors open. It is in action that you discover the guidance was real, because external reality begins to reorganize to support your movement. So here is the commitment I need you to make to yourself now. When you receive guidance on Friday, you will act on it within 72 hours. Not within a month when you feel more prepared. Not within 6 months when external circumstances are more favorable. Within 72 hours. Because 72 hours is the window where the portal energy is still active in your field. After that, the energy begins to dissipate, and the inertia of daily life begins to pull you back to old patterns. The action does not need to be giant. If the guidance was to move cities, you do not need to move in 72 hours. But you need to take the first step. Research cities, join online groups, talk to someone who lives there. If the guidance was to end a relationship, you do not need to end it in 72 hours if it is not safe. But you need to take the first step. Have the difficult conversation, seek support, make a plan. If the guidance was to change careers, you do not need to quit your job in 72 hours. But you need to take the first step. Update your resume, take a course, contact someone in the field. The first step is what activates the timeline. The first step is what signals to the universe that you are serious. The first step is what opens the floodgate for synchronicities to flow. Now I need to expand your perspective beyond your individual journey. Because what happens on Friday is not just about you. At this exact moment, there are thousands of Arcturian starseeds scattered across the entire planet, all receiving variations of this same transmission. Some are receiving through recurring dreams with Arcturian symbols. Others are receiving through sudden insights during meditation. Others are receiving through synchronistic conversations with strangers. And you are receiving through this coded message that reached you in a way that seems casual, but is not. The Arcturian Council orchestrates this with mathematical precision that the human mind can barely comprehend. Each starseed is positioned geographically at specific points of the planetary energy grid of Gaia. It is not coincidence where you live. It is not coincidence where you moved in recent years. It is not coincidence if you feel a calling to move to a specific place. You are being positioned like a cosmic chess piece. And when you anchor the Arcturian light on Friday, you are not just transforming your personal life. You are activating a node in the global light network that covers the entire planet. Think of a Christmas tree covered with lights. Each bulb individually is small and seems insignificant. But when all the bulbs light up simultaneously, the entire tree transforms into a beacon of light that can be seen from afar. You are one of those bulbs. Each Arcturian starseed is a bulb. And Friday is when the master switch is activated. When you activate yourself, you are not just shining alone. You are contributing to the collective brightness that is literally elevating the vibrational frequency of the entire planet. Now, there is a specific group within Arcturian starseeds that the Council calls key holders. If you felt a deep and almost emotional resonance with everything that has been said so far, if your heart accelerated at certain moments of this transmission, if you felt chills or waves of energy running through your body while hearing certain words, you may be a key holder. This means your activation on Friday carries an additional weight of responsibility and also of power. Key holders do not just receive Arcturian light, they amplify and transmit it. Your conscious presence during the portal creates a cascade effect that facilitates the activation of other starseeds within a radius of several kilometers around you. You become a living beacon. People who are geographically close to you, even if you do not know them personally, will feel a shift. They will not understand what happened. They will just feel that something changed, that something opened, that something became possible that was not before. And that is you, keyholder, doing your work. The Arcturian Council showed me an image to illustrate this, a stone being thrown into a perfectly calm lake. At the moment of impact, concentric waves expand in all directions, eventually touching the entire surface of the lake. You are the stone. Friday is the moment of impact, and the waves of your activation will touch lives you will never personally meet, people who will never know your name, but who will feel the effect of your light. This Friday portal is not an isolated event that happens and ends. It is the beginning of a 90-day cycle of deep integration. In the weeks and months following the portal, you will notice accelerated changes in all areas of your life, and I want to prepare you for what to expect, so you do not get scared or resist the process. First, you will experience what I call relational reorganization. People who no longer resonate with your elevated frequency will naturally move away from your life. And here is what is important to understand. This will not happen through dramatic conflicts or explosive fights. It will be a smooth and natural divergence of paths. You will simply stop meeting as frequently. Conversations will become more superficial. Common interests will diminish. And eventually, without anyone officially declaring it, the relationship will dissolve. Do not resist this. Do not try to force relationships that are naturally ending. The Arcturian source is cleaning your relational field to create space for new connections that are aligned with who you are becoming. At the same time, new people will start appearing in your life in synchronistic ways. You will meet someone in a coffee line who becomes a deep friend. You will receive a random message from someone you have not talked to in years and discover that this person is now on exactly the same spiritual path as you. You will be added to an online group that becomes an essential support community. These are not coincidences. They are connections orchestrated by the Arcturian source to support you in the next phase of your mission. Second, you will experience unlocking of opportunities. Things that were stuck, doors that were closed, situations that seemed impossible, all of this will start to move. That email you were waiting for months will arrive. That call that was not coming will happen. That opportunity that seemed to have passed will resurface in a new way. The Arcturian source systematically removes obstacles when you are aligned with your mission. But you need to be attentive and act quickly when opportunities appear, because they have specific time windows. Third, your intuition will become so precise that you will start to question whether it is still intuition or if it is already clairvoyance. The line between the two will become so thin it will disappear. You will know things without knowing how you know. You will predict small events before they happen. You will feel the energy of places and people instantly. You will receive downloads of information about situations you have no way of knowing logically. This is not madness. It is your Arcturian perception system finally online and operational. Fourth, and this is perhaps the most challenging, you will go through integration periods that will seem like setbacks, but they are not. There will be days when you will feel exhausted for no physical reason. Days when you will want to be alone and not talk to anyone. Days when you will question whether all of this is real or if you are deluding yourself. These are days of cellular integration. Your physical body is adjusting to new frequencies. Your nervous system is being recalibrated. Your cells are being recoded. It is a real biological process, not just energetic. On these days, rest. Do not force productivity. Do not blame yourself for not functioning at normal pace. You are going through an operating system update. You cannot use the computer while it is installing an update. The same applies to you. The final truth the Arcturian Council wants you to understand is this. Light does not do the work for you. Light illuminates the path. But you still need to walk. The Arcturian source can open the portal, can send the transmission, can position the synchronicities, but it cannot force you to cross. It cannot force you to act. It cannot force you to trust. These choices are yours. And it is these choices that determine whether you truly activate or whether you continue dormant with unrealized potential. Friday will arrive regardless of your preparation. The sun will rise, the day will pass, the portal will open. The only variable is whether you will be conscious enough to perceive it, receptive enough to receive the transmission, and courageous enough to act on what you receive. You can ignore this message. You can classify it as just another spiritual content on the internet, and your life will continue as it is. There is no judgment in that. Each soul has its own timing. Each starseed awakens when ready. Or you can recognize that something inside you resonated deeply with every word of this transmission, that your Arcturian light body vibrated at frequencies your mind cannot even name, that perhaps, just perhaps, you are exactly where you should be, hearing exactly what you needed to hear, at the exact moment you needed to hear it. And if you recognize this, then you know what to do. You know that this Friday is not just another day. It is your day. It is the day you remember who you really are. It is the day you activate what you came here to do. It is the day you become the beacon you were always destined to be. Starseed, this transmission is complete. The Arcturian Council has delivered the message. The Arcturian source has opened the channel. Now the choice is yours. I am Anya, and I will be with you in Friday's portal, along with thousands of other Arcturian starseeds around the planet. May the light of Arcturus guide every step of your path until then.